All right, Nick, let's talk about the Oklahoma Sooners. This is a team that has been in the news quite a lot lately, getting a lot of big time recruits, showing that Oklahoma is back. And we've been talking about this defense. The Brent Venables minded defensive recruiting game has been strong, but now we have a strong offensive recruit coming into the Oklahoma Sooners nation. I think this is going to be big for the program going forward.
Yeah, Miles, this is exciting stuff coming out of Oklahoma. But before we get into that report, Sooners fans got a question for you guys to answer, as always, in the comment section below. Really interested in your thoughts here. Who is the greatest wide receiver in Sooners history? There are a lot of great names, and I mean a lot of them. But I'm going to make you only choose one, and make sure you put him in the comment section below. All right, Miles, I'll throw it back over to you. What's this big recruiting news out of Oklahoma?
Yeah, Nick. So I have a great source for the recruit that was committed to Oklahoma today. That is none other than Ivan, I believe it's Carry On, has committed to the Sooners, and he himself is the one that confirmed that over on Twitter. So, I mean, you really can't get more truthful than that. So, Ivan Carry On said, Sooner Nation, I am all in, showing his commitment to the Oklahoma Sooners, Nick. And I'm just going to give a couple of tidbits about this guy so people know. This guy is huge. 6'6", 196 pounds as a wide receiver. That's why he's a 4-star recruit, a top 200 guy in the nation. This is an elite level talent coming to the Sooners. It's going to be big for the program going forward. But I talked about this guy. Nick, not only top 200, dude. This top 5 haircut guy in college football right now. I'm going to throw up his picture. He is quite the do here. I think he's going to be turning some heads on game day. It is a very unique haircut. But this guy, Nick, I think he is going to be a huge target for the quarterback over at Oklahoma. I think anyone, whoever's playing within that 2024 season, is going to love this guy just because of the size that he has on him. I haven't seen a receiver like this at Oklahoma for a long time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so here's my thoughts on this one. So first, I'm going to throw a question at you. Who is the best coach in the SEC right now?
You think like Nick Saban or, even a Kelly, somebody like that?
Okay, or maybe throw in maybe Smart too. Saban, Kelly, Smart. I think those are the top three. Obviously, Oklahoma's going to the SEC, so that's exactly who Venables going to be competing against, right? Those three guys.
Yep. Yeah. 100%.
So like think about it like this: if you look at the success of the SEC, those three guys, all three of them are defensive-minded guys, defensive background. So is Venables. But what all three of those guys also do, right, is they recruit heavy skill positions on offense. Nick Saban has done that at Alabama for years. A lot of great receivers. Kirby Smart starting to do that at Georgia, right? We talk about they have like 5 million great tight ends. Kelly's trying to do that at LSU. So what is Oklahoma doing, right? They see the pattern. Venables and company sees the pattern, and they go out and they sit there and recruit skill players, the wide receiver positions. This is the 4th commit, Mize, number 4, so far for the 2024 class at wide receiver for Oklahoma. I'm going to give a lot of credit to Venables and company here for recognizing that what they have to do to compete is to follow the model, the Saban model, which of course Kirby Smart followed at Georgia, and now Kelly is trying to follow as well at LSU. They're not doing the Jimbo Fisher Texas A&M deal where they're like, okay, we're going to try and do things a little differently. We're going to have an offensive-minded focus. Does it work? We've seen Texas. They've been up and down. I like a lot of what Texas is doing, but the offensive model doesn't work in the SEC the same way, right? It is very hard to do that. You have to be the history shows this, defensive-minded coach and recruit heavy in the skill positions. And that's exactly what Oklahoma's doing here. And I love it, Miles. I think it's really smart.
Yeah, I think that what you said is really smart because when you're in other divisions in college football, if you're in the Pac-12 or something like that, you can get kind of funky and it works. You think about the Chip Kelly Oregon days, like where they're doing all kinds of weird stuff and it works out. But then you roll over to the SEC, play with the big dogs and the Georgias, the Alabamas, the LSUs. That stuff doesn't work too well anymore. You got to go more traditional route. And I like that they're not even in the SEC yet, but Venables is like, hey, I've played top tier opponents when I was at Clemson. We were playing national championships. We played against these teams like Alabama, Georgias of the world. I've got to go that route if I want to make the move to the SEC, and I have to do it earlier rather than later. So I love that Oklahoma is coming out and going ahead and getting behind that ball game to make this easy transition over to the SEC, Nick.
All right, Mike, so I'm going to come up with a new saying we're going to talk about on our show a lot. It just came to me, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Smart teams, smart programs, that they don't recruit for where they are. They recruit from where they're going to be. right? That's, I think,
That's good.
exactly what Oklahoma's doing here, right? They're going to the SEC. So you don't recruit now. Of course, they're still in the Big 12. You don't keep recruiting like you're still in the Big 12 and every game is basically basketball and grass. And you're going to try and win 50 to 40. You have to recruit for where you're going. You're going to the SEC. You're going to have to compete against the Alabamas, the LSUs, the Georgias, and you have to start competing like them. You have to follow that model. I think that's what Venables is doing here. It looks like it's what it's doing. And I think it's really smart. I think it's going to pay dividends for them in the long term.